Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the AE promotion roadmap, which helps you determine exactly, where you're stuck in your path to AE. And it also will point you to the solution to this constraint in your current path to AE. And so just to give you it's just some brief context onto how this came about, I was an SDR for 21 months before becoming an AE. And so through that process and through helping dozens of others promote to AE in under 18 months, I've built out a flowchart to help you, like I said, diagnose where you're at and then provided the solution to help you get unstuck from there. And if you want my one-on-one help anywhere throughout the process, just click the link in the description of this video. Go ahead and watch that video, and then there will be some next steps on how I can work with you one-on-one. So just know that that's an option. All right, so let's go through the actual decision tree. Right. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, are you at a company that promotes SDRs to AEs consistently? And again, this isn't a hard cut rule, but I like to ask myself, does at your company do at least 1/3 of the tenured reps promote to an AE every 6 months or so? If it's a little more frequent than that or a little less frequent than that, still might be a good organization to stay at. But if the answer is no, seems like virtually no one's promoting to AE, then definitely worth considering a new company. And so then I created a link here and just around some of the companies that I recommend you joining. So now let's say you are at the right company. The next question you have to ask yourself is, are you on pace to interview? And so if the answer is yes, keep crushing it. And then I've linked the Promote Me playbook, which just helps you keep the pace and helps you figure out how to stay on track to basically make sure you're landing that interview. Then you have to ask yourself, is it a performance issue in terms of are you actually hitting your number? If you are hitting your number, then the answer is no, it's not a performance issue. Which means you have to ask yourself, is it an internal brand issue? If the answer is yes, then again, check out the Promote Me playbook. It'll give you a pretty in-depth guide on how to actually fix your internal brand. And then you have to ask yourself, is it an AE readiness issue? If the answer is yes, great. Let's make you AE ready. And again, a lot of that's in the Promote Me playbook as well. If the answer is no, sounds like it might be something else. And what you can do is just send me a message on School and happy to chat with you there. All right, next, going back to the performance issue, it sounds like if it's none of these things, then it must be performance issue, right? Like you must not be hitting your number. And so now I've kind of now we'll go through the decision tree on how to actually figure out why that is and how you can address it. So you have to ask yourself, are you confident that you're targeting the right accounts? If the answer is no, well, I have an account tiering guide. So you can kind of check it out there and it'll help you figure out how to actually tier your accounts properly and reach out to the right accounts. If you're confident you are, then you have to ask yourself, are you targeting the right people? If you're not confident, there's a persona identification guide. Then you have to ask yourself, are your outreach cadences aligned with the right personas, right? Are you using the appropriate outreach cadence for the right people? If the answer is no, have a guide for that. If you're confident with your outreach cadences, then you have to ask yourself, are you confident on cold calls? If the answer is no, then I have a complete guide for you on how to become confident on your cold calls. If you're confident on cold calls, then you need to ask yourself, are you confident on your emails? If the answer is no, I have a guide for that. If the answer is yes, you have to ask yourself, are you confident on LinkedIn? If the answer is no, I have a guide for that. If the answer is yes, but you're not hitting your number, but you're confident you're reaching out to the right accounts, you're confident you're reaching out to the right people, you're confident on cold calls, emails, LinkedIn, etc., then it must be an account or a volume issue, right? So one question I like to ask myself, and again, this isn't like a hard set rule, but one question to ask yourself is, would doubling my KPIs allow me to hit my number, right? So if I'm making 100 cold calls today, but I were to start making 200 cold calls, do I think based on the trajectory of my success rate and pickup rate and all that stuff, would that allow me to hit my number? If the answer is no, right? So even if you double your emails, double your cold calls, double everything that you're doing, and it would not allow you to hit your number or hit your quota, then you have to ask yourself, have you asked your manager for new accounts? If you have not, great, ask them for new accounts. If you have asked them for new accounts, you have to ask yourself, will you get new accounts? And if the answer is no, then you might need to start looking externally because if nothing's going to change, then you're going to be stuck as an SDR. Again, there may be nuances to this, so always feel free to message me on School. But if you will get new accounts, then great, be patient. And then once you get new accounts, you can go through this flowchart again. Okay, so now let's say you do feel like, hey, if I were to double my KPIs, would that actually allow me to hit my number? If the answer is yes, then the question you have to ask yourself is, could you double your KPIs if you were more operationally efficient? And the way you can kind of ask yourself that is like, hey, if I had a better structure in my day, if I felt like I used my time better, if I had more clarity in like how to be organized, like would I be able to 2x my output? If the answer is no, and you feel like you're pretty much as efficient as you can be and there's not much left you can tweak, well, then you have to ask yourself, are you willing to work longer hours? Basically, if you put more time in to make more dials and put out more emails. If the answer is yes, then great, do that. If the answer is no, then you have to ask yourself, have you asked your manager for new accounts, right? Because it sounds like it's an account issue. If the answer is no, do that. If the answer is yes, will you get new accounts? If the answer is no, consider looking externally. If you'll get new accounts, again, just like over here, be patient. And then the last part of the decision tree, let's say you could double your KPIs if you were more operationally efficient. If the answer is yes, then you have to ask yourself, are you organized with your book of business? And if the answer is no, great, I have a complete guide for that. If you do feel organized about your book of business, then you really just have to ask yourself, are you spending your 8 hours like you ought to? And are you time blocking effectively, etc.? And so if the answer is no to that, I have a time optimization guide. If it's something else, again, I'm not exactly sure what else it would be because I've tried to be comprehensive, but of course there's things I could have missed. Feel free to message me on Skool. And like I said, if you want my personal help, either diagnosing your roadblock or actually helping you get unstuck and actually help you in your path to AE, then click the link in the description of this video, and it's about a 15-minute video that talks through how I actually help people promote to AE. And if you get to the end of the video and you like what you see, then you can book a call in the description of that video. Or like I said, you can always just shoot me a message on Skool, and I usually get back pretty quickly. Hope this helps.